As runners, we all love running and we neglect one big part of our training, and that is recovery. And that's everything we're talking about on today's video, is how important is recovery, how should you recover, and how it should fit into your training schedule. My name is Brad. We're joined by the coach Lindsey today, and we're going to be talking all things recovery. Lindsey, we're talking about recovery today for runners and the importance of recovering. A couple of weeks ago, we spoke about sort of slowing down as an older runner, and one of the things that we spoke about was ensuring that you recover properly. And we spoke about in that video about older runners, but for all runners, recovery is vital, isn't it?
Yeah, look, and anyone who's been to a Coach Parry talk will know that I don't, no matter what the topic is, I don't miss an opportunity to talk to runners and stress the importance of recovery. I would say that it's as important as the training, and I sometimes say it's more important than training, but I know that there are people out there that'll take it to mean that they can recover 7 days a week. So I won't quite go there, but the reality is that in the absence of recovery, we cannot be the best that we can be. And then on top of that, you risk getting sick and you risk getting injured. So it's absolutely as important as any training run that you do. Recovery is just as important.
Talk to me about the physiology of recovery. Why is it so important? What happens in the body when you recover?
So I wish I could draw a little graph now, because that explains it really the best. But in very simplistic terms, what happens when we exercise and we push ourselves is that we actually do damage to the system. So we hurt ourselves on a very low level and in a way that is actually healthy and stimulating. But what happens when we recover is that the body actually goes in and repairs that damage, and it makes improvements. So it improves the system so that the system can withstand more next time. And that is why we get fitter, stronger, faster, because these small system improvements are being made all the time. And if we train too hard, and for the last couple of years, instead of overtraining, we now call it under recovery, but essentially they are both the same thing. But if we are glopping training on top of training on top of training, and we're not allowing that system to recover properly, then we're not allowing the full repair and compensation or reaction to that damage. And that's why we either then flatline or get sick and injured.
What are some of the warning signs to look out for that we're not recovering sufficiently?
So obviously fatigue is the first and most obvious sign, but some fatigue is normal. If we're training hard, we can't expect to never be tired and to never wake up feeling like we haven't had enough sleep, and when we go out to run feeling a bit flat. So those are normal feelings, but we don't want to be tired or exhausted all the time. So obviously when you're tired, that's when your alarm bell should be raised, but not necessarily needed to act on just yet, because if you've got normal recovery cycles built into each week, or if you've got easier days coming, and in those easier days we often then can recover before we go again. So that's certainly not cause to panic, but it's cause to take note. That fatigue coupled with an inability to fall asleep, and now we're talking about people that don't have sleeping issues already, but when we are training hard, it's normal to be quite tired at the end of the day, and we generally sleep better when we are training well than at other times. So if that fatigue is coupled with an inability to go to sleep, that is a pretty good sign that you are definitely overreaching, and that some more recovery is required. And if that is also coupled with low appetite, so you just really don't feel like eating, those three in combination are deadly, and that is telling us that we really need to do something about this and switch it around, because what that's telling us is that your body is releasing high levels of cortisol to help you cope. In other words, the body's not coping, so now it releases cortisols, and those cortisols interfere with sleep and they suppress appetite.
Lindsey, you mentioned the word overtraining, and then in the same sentence use the word under recovering. Are those two things the same thing, or are they slightly different?
Look, they are the same thing. I mean, if you're training really, really hard, then you have to put in particular effort into making sure that you are recovering. So when we go into periods of extreme training, we've got to make efforts to get into bed earlier and sleep well, and we've got to make sure that we eat really well. And if we get those two things pretty well on track, then you'll be amazed what sort of abuse your body can withstand in training. But if you're going to train really hard and then you're going to compromise sleep and you're going to eat rubbish, you will find that you start to struggle a lot quicker.
Lindsey, I'm going to bring this up. I know you're not a huge fan, but run streaks are the rage and have been for a long time. Guys and girls trying to run as many days consecutively as they can. Is that okay if you look from a recovery perspective, or is it not the wise thing to do? Or is it a case of, you know what, if that's what your goal is, then that's fine?
That sums it up. I mean, if your goal is to have a run streak, fantastic, but you must accept that it's going to compromise your performance. So, of course, there are lots of ways to skin any cat, and I think the rule is that you have to run at least 1 kilometer, or maybe it was 1 mile, whatever, 1K, 1.6K. So if you go out and run 1.6Ks to maintain your run streak, that is not going to put any stress on the system. So there are ways to skin any of these things, but the principles are the same. You need to have days where you allow your body to recover, and if you don't give your body days to recover, you are going to compromise your performance. So it's a question of prioritizing what is important to you as an individual.
We've also had it often where people are saying, "Oh, I don't want to train only 4 days a week. I enjoy training." I know in your programs that are on our training app, there are lots of 4-day programs, but you're a massive advocate for cross training. But you still believe that 1 full day a week you need to take off totally.
Yeah, and that's not just the reason why I insist on a whole day of off training. That is less to do with the physical recovery and a lot more to do with the mental recovery. Because, look, if you put a swim on your rest day, that's probably going to be helpful for recovery. But what I've found over the years is that if you can have a day where you quite literally don't have to think about training, you don't have to prioritize your life around training, you don't have to manage your family around your training. So there's essentially a day where neither you nor those around you are impacted by exercise because you can do whatever. But it's got nothing to do with packing a bag, making time over lunch, getting home early, waking up early. So it literally just removes for a day all the administrative stress around you getting in your day of exercise. And that is the main reason why I like to have a day of no exercise.
You mentioned the mental side of things, and that's something a lot of people neglect. They think, oh, the running's good for me mentally, but mental recovery is as important as physical recovery.
It's everything. I mean, it doesn't matter what distance you decide to lock into, whether it's 5,000 meters, 10Ks, or an ultra marathon. You need to be very physically and mentally present in the moment to truly push yourself and twist yourself inside out in a 5,000 meter or a 5K race or park run. It takes enormous concentration, perseverance, and determination. And you can have none of those things if you are tired in your head or mentally not up for it. Yeah, I mean, once you get into the realms of doing things against the clock, it doesn't matter what distance of the race it is. You really need to be mentally present and prepared to push yourself hard.
Thanks for joining us on this video. Don't forget, if you don't want to miss any of these videos that we put out, hit the subscribe button over here. You can catch our latest video over here, and one of our most popular is over here. And also, if you want to shave 10 minutes off your PB, all you need to do is download our free strength training program. You can get that right here.